Hello, and welcome to another episode of Market House, the podcast where we talk all things Disney. My name's Caleb.
And I'm Caitlin.
And this week we talk Walt Disney World ticket price increases,
Disney Cruise Line buys a mega ship, and a fun conversation with Chris and Emily from the Happiest Hour on Earth podcast.
Let's dive in. This is episode number 58, and we're excited to record. It's a special day, and we'll get to that.
Very exciting day.
We'll get to that. But first, let's tell the people what we've been up to outside of recording all that good stuff. Last night, Caitlin twisted my arm and had me watch Santa Claus.
And how did you like it?
Mr. Tim Allen. I was pleasantly surprised. So I saw I ever claimed I disliked the movie. I just said it wasn't my favorite Christmas movie. I was getting confused with the second one. See, my brother, the middle one, he was obsessed with Santa Claus 2 growing up, and I watched it so many times I just got tired of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pleasantly surprised. It's actually a funny movie.
Yeah. First of all, it's one of my favorite Christmas movies. And number one is, the first one is so amazing.
It was funny.
It's so nostalgic.
It was good.
Yeah.
Can you believe it came out in 94?
No.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I love the movie. I can't wait.
You
I want
weren't
to
even
watch
born
it again.
yet, woman.
No,
you weren't
not
even
yet.
born.
Not yet.
So that was fun. So we're getting in the Christmas spirit. Again, Caitlin is definitely... I love decorating and I love the season, don't get me wrong. But you're way more of a Christmas movie fan than I am.
Yeah.
And so you've been keeping me honest and having us watch them.
Yeah, any reason I can just to bring out... I'm like, do you want to watch a Christmas movie? Do you want to make Christmas cookies?
I
Do you want
know.
a Christmas plate?
More cookies last night.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to kill me.
Well, we made they're healthier. They were like the peanut butter, like oat with like the they're not M&Ms. They're like
they're
dark
yeah,
chocolate
but they're like
candies.
sweetened with like, I don't know, this fancy
It's a
box.
some
It's like
weird brand, but
sweetened with monk fruit and not sugar.
they were absolutely amazing.
they're good, but a little help. It makes you feel better eating them.
You know what? 'Tis the season. Eat whatever you want. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter.
It's sweatshirt season. That's what my cousin says. Sweatshirt season.
Yeah.
Pack it in.
All right.
So before we move on, before we pack it in, before we move on and get into the news, we have an exciting announcement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, it's the season of giving, and it's that time of year where you're supposed to be generous,
Yeah.
right?
Get back a little bit.
Give back. So we're going to be doing a fundraiser over on Instagram. Caitlin will post more about it on there, but we're going to be supporting Make-A-Wish, which is a fantastic organization. And, we don't need to theme it to Disney every single time, but we thought what's more fitting than Make-A-Wish, who makes, kids that are going through some kind of treatment, make a wish happen for them, right? And
Yeah.
Disney tends to be one of their wishes, I think, for many, many kids.
Yeah, it's always so like special seeing the families at the parks.
Yeah, so they have shirts on, right? So you can see them going around the parks, and I can't imagine, right, what some of those families are going through. And so to be able to help out a little bit would be awesome.
Yeah, so we're super excited to be doing that.
Yeah, so I know, again, no pressure. We know that this time of year, not only is it expensive, but also you see the economic outlook and stuff. We don't want to get into all the negative stuff, but totally understand if some folks aren't in the position to do it. But if you are and would like to be a part, we'd love to have you give to this little thing we're doing. So...
Yep, we're super excited. And again, like Caleb mentioned, I will be putting it on an Instagram post, and we'll be talking about it multiple times. So we won't just be on one thing.
Yeah.
So
you'll see and hear. Cool. Okay. Quick thing before we get into the news. No trivia or shop the mouse with Market House this week.
Not this week,
Not
friends.
this week.
People are going to be upset.
I know.
People are liking it.
Caitlin has had some messages. People like the shop the mouse with Market House. So we're going to leave a little room in this episode, right? Because we have some special guests this week. We teased about it last week, and it's finally here.
Yeah, we're going to be having Chris and Emily with the Happiest Hour on Earth podcast on our show, and this is our first interview, and we are so excited.
No pressure, Caitlin.
No pressure at all.
Now, I'm very excited that it's these two because we communicate a lot via Instagram, and they're two very nice people, and so I think they will...
That's going to be great.
They'll be good.
Yeah, we've been talking to them since almost the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's great. I feel like we're already friends, which is so crazy because we haven't hung out or anything. But again, we're so happy to have them on.
Yeah, it's going to be a real good time. Just asking them, I think, more about, what's the parks like with having a little one with you versus when you were both just going by yourselves. And so we're similar in age, I believe.
Yes.
And so I think it'll be fun to ask like how all that changes, right?
Yeah, which I'm very intrigued by. So I can't wait.
Before we dive into the news, we have an exciting announcement. We have a lot of exciting things
do.
going on.
Today's an exciting day.
I've said it about 5 times, but we have another 5-star review over on Apple Podcasts. So this is Danny Fandoms, and that's his Instagram name. His username on, I keep going to say iTunes. It shows my age. His Apple Podcast name is slightly different, but we know it's him because he sent us something saying he did, which we appreciate that very much. I think he was the winner of one of our
giveaways.
He was.
Yeah, a long time ago.
So Danny, appreciate this. But he says, fun podcast giving you all the Disney news. Listening to Market House is some of the most fun you'll have while staying up to date on Disney news. Caitlin and Caleb keep the podcast so engaging with great segments, trivia, trip reports, and merch discussions. Every episode gets me to smile or laugh, and I look forward to the next one coming out every week.
Aww.
Thank you, Danny.
Danny, you're so sweet. And again, we can't thank you enough for your support. I mean, you've been with us for a while now, and you're constantly just like the interaction's always been there. We message each other. Again, the review is just the cherry on top.
Yeah,
so we're
seriously.
so thankful for you.
Thank you for the support. Appreciate your words, and we're glad that you're liking it.
Yeah, and again, thank you so much to everyone that's given us a review. It truly, I know I've said this 50 times, but it truly makes our entire day, and we're just so thankful for you to take the time to do that.
Thank you. All right, let's get in the news.
All right, first up, the biggest news of the hour right now. Magic Keys are back.
Well, they were.
Well, they are. Well,
No,
they were.
they
Yeah,
were.
they're gone.
No, there were.
They were here, and now they were gone.
For about, 36 hours?
Yes.
Something crazy. So this was very weird because there was no official announcement. There wasn't any kind of like drum up to it, like Disney posting stuff for a week. It was by the way, what do you call it? Magic Keys are going to be for sale at this time. Good luck.
Yeah.
And so this was on November 16th. By the next morning, all of them were sold out except the Inspire, which is that top tier $1,600 pass.
Yeah, which is crazy. And I did notice at the beginning they didn't have the Enchant Key available for sale.
Okay, so that wasn't even available at all.
Not at the beginning.
Is that what we have?
That's what we have.
That's what we have.
But it's kind of interesting because we had one listener who waited 18 plus hours.
Isn't that crazy?
And
overnight.
Then, overnight. And then once she did get to the screen where you're able to pick your key, they were all gone except for the top one.
So I know she wanted the Believe, I think. The Believe, I believe. She wanted the Believe, which is the second from the top. And when she went to go buy it, it was like, Inspire only.
She's like, well,
yeah.
all right.
So I think she originally said, I'm not going to do it. And then she messaged us saying, I did it. So
yeah,
super happy for her that she got one. It's a bummer she had to get the expensive one.
Yeah.
But now she gets to go to Disney all the time.
She's right. She's actually there right now. She just sent us a picture
Yes.
of chocolate caramels, which is our
Yes.
favorite candy. So we're happy that she's having a good time.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, if you didn't get one, sorry. I mean, that really does stink. There wasn't a lot of information, but for those that grabbed one, let us know. And welcome to the Magic Key family. All right, next up, we've got some unfortunate news over on the East Coast. Walt Disney World has increased ticket prices. This was expected. Disneyland did theirs first. A couple months later, we're here, and increases have come. So December 8th is when these increases go into effect. But Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios are both seeing about a 12% increase. Pretty much prices range from $109 to $159 for Animal Kingdom, $124 to $179 for Hollywood Studios, $114 to $179 for Epcot, and finally the most expensive Magic Kingdom at $124 to $189
Wow.
for a single day ticket. So it's getting expensive over there.
Mm-hmm.
There was increases, of course, to park hoppers and also multi-day tickets, but we won't get into all the nitty-gritty there, but just expect to pay more. Stinks. Annual passes also saw an increase, up to $100 increase. And Credit Pass is the top one. Their bottom one is the Pixie Dust Pass. Fun names. That one's still $399, no increase there. But yeah, so things went up. But the weird thing about this is, which is different than Disneyland, is that they got discounts to renew.
Which is interesting. It's a bummer that we didn't get
Why?
that. Well, I don't know.
I'm very angry. No, I don't know. They treat those they treat the two coasts very differently.
Very much so.
So it doesn't surprise me that they did something different, but it's just a bummer that we paid full fare.
Mm-hmm.
All right, save up your pennies and just expect some increased prices over in Disney World.
All right, for our last piece of news, we have some DCL news. It looks like Disney just bought a new ship.
Big news.
Partially built.
Yes, this is a weird news story. This was kind of came out of left field. not very Disney-like, right? Because the Disney ships look a lot different than a regular cruise ship.
And I think that's what makes them stand out.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
That's why they can charge what they charge. So Disney is purchasing the half-finished Global Dream from Dream Cruises. Construction was halted after their parent company went out of business during the coronavirus pandemic. And so Disney looked at this ship and said, hey, this gigantic ship, let me tell you, the 7th largest cruise ship in the world, is half-finished at the Meyer-Werft Construction Company, which built half of the other Disney ships. We might as well buy it, like pennies on the dollar, and just kind of redesign it into a Disney ship. And that's what they did.
And this thing's huge. It's literally gonna fit like up to like 6,000 guests.
Okay, fun fact. Disney announced that it's going to fit up to 6,000. It was originally supposed to fit up to 9,000. So Disney has decreased the occupancy because I'm assuming they're going to give more space to fun things to do, right? Common spaces.
Well, that's
and
good.
I think, and also bigger staterooms, because Disney's known for their giant staterooms. So anyway, 6,000 guests, that's a lot of people. Someone told me it's pretty much a Disney Magic and the Disney Dream combined.
Okay.
So it's a big puppy.
It looks like they're planning on launching it in 2025. So that's pretty soon.
That's quick.
Yeah, especially with the Treasure coming out.
And then there's another one after the Treasure, which is unnamed, and then this thing.
Yeah,
so
you know what? I'm like, keep them coming. I want to see all of them. I want to go on them. So
we got to start saving our money.
Well, especially with the Wish, like the opinions on the Wish are kind of up and down right now.
Sure.
So it's cool to see new ships coming out.
And this is a beast. So this was clearly not in the plans because the Wish and stuff aren't nearly as big as this ship. So this is going to be the outlier and kind of on its own. But the last thing here is there was some weird verbiage used by Disney, which people are looking into. It may not be anything, but they said this ship will be based outside of the U.S. Now, if you kind of pull it back a little bit, you'll realize that none of the ships are based in the U.S. Technically, they're all based out of Nassau to get around some employment laws, which is kind of sketch, but that's the cruise industry. But maybe it does mean, quite literally, this will be based out of the country, like their home port. Which doesn't surprise me because Asia is a giant market for Disney already with the parks. This could be a ship for them.
That'd be awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, great for them, but also I'd be bummed because we don't get to do it. I mean, we could.
Yeah,
We
but
could
it's
fly
just
across
like
the
going
world.
to a Disney park over there. You just fly to it.
I mean, we haven't done it yet.
No, that is on our bucket list.
Yes.
But it would be amazing to like have that type of variety to be able to choose.
That's
'cause
true.
Disney would literally be all over the world
That's
if that
true.
happened. So
Yeah, anyways, look out for this for some more news. We'll see what the name is. We'll see what the theming is. But again, Disney's going to have a mega ship in the fleet soon. Well, let's get started. We've got Chris and Emily from Happiest Hour on Earth with us.
We are so excited for this. I feel like, again, I know we've said this before, you're like our friends through the internet. So we're so excited to have you guys on our podcast. So thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having us on. We're so stoked.
Yeah, and we're your first guest. We are so honored to be
Very
your first guest
honored.
on your show. We've just loved everything you guys have put out. And once we first connected, I was just like, these people are awesome.
So
Like, we
easy to
gotta
listen
get
to.
together.
Like we listen to you every week.
oh,
Oh,
well,
thank
right
you.
back at
Yeah,
Good
right back
stuff.
at you. We were just going to say, like, the stuff we were literally scrolling before we started recording. We were eating dinner, a very late dinner, and scrolling through your guys' Instagram, looking at food and drinks, going like, oh, I wish I had that right now while stuffing my face with, like, pasta and meat.
Oh
So
my gosh.
love your stuff. Listen to your
Love it.
show. And yeah, you guys are just amazing. So what is the
Thank you.
let's introduce you guys first. Let's get to know you guys. What are you guys
Sounds
up to?
good.
You've got podcast, you've got YouTube, you've got everything under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
I
for
guess
it.
I'll go for
Yeah,
it. So yeah,
get
we
started.
we do our podcast. We, are Disneyland natives. We're still pretty far from the park, kind of like you guys are. You guys go more
Yeah.
often, so we're very jealous of that. But
Yeah.
we just have our podcast, and we also put it on YouTube. So if you want to see our faces while we try different food and snacks from the park, you could watch us on there, or you could just catch us on podcast platforms. But and then that's kind of our thing, is that we wanted to bring in a little bit of the parks into our show, because we have just missed them,
Mhm.
so much, like when we started our show. So we just kind of did a little challenge, and we're like, hey, can we do something like that every week? And so we'll post those on Instagram, but mainly, just podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube and all that fun stuff. But just
I love it.
meeting all the Disney community, that's just like our favorite thing ever through
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole
It's been the
podcast
best.
journey.
Yeah. And that was something I didn't expect. Not that I wasn't like, they're not nice people out there in the world, but it was like such a cool, like extra thing that happens is you just get to meet a ton of other Disney loving people.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
yeah,
It's awesome.
I know, like, I totally feel like I didn't understand how big of a world that was until we started our page, like a year and a half ago, I guess now. And yeah, as soon as we got on Instagram and started our page and started the podcast and started connecting with people, I was like, man, this is a huge community. Like, there are
for sure.
influencers, there's small shops, there's podcasters like us. Like,
Mhm.
there's so many people in that community. And it's just been so fun to like meet people and just grow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
And
that
you meet
community.
a lot of people like through this community, but there are certain people that you just kind of cling to
Mhm.
and kind of become close to. And you guys
Yeah.
were one of them when we first started following you guys and just
Yeah.
connecting. We're like, oh my gosh, you know? And it's hard because you can't, especially we have a child, and it's hard to connect with everyone all the time.
Yeah.
But some people just kind of stick out, and I want everyone to stick out and talk to them and make connections
Yeah.
and everything. But you guys were one that we just constantly
It was
were
like
just
an
talking, and
instant
it was awesome. So
I
great.
love that.
I
They're
love
so
it.
sweet.
The
So you
best first
guys-
guest ever.
Yeah, all of our followers, they are so sweet. And seriously, guys, if you haven't already, check out their Instagram. Your guys' Instagram is so beautiful. You always are posting
Aw.
reels and pictures and always latest news. And we are always talking about stuff that you
Yeah.
post. So
You guys had Caitlin was scrolling through.
Oh my
You guys had a
gosh.
1975 song for one of your
Oh,
reels,
yeah.
which
Oh.
I
My gosh.
love.
Yeah, Caleb's
1975.
I'm
Hate to like,
obsessed with them.
Yeah.
hate to like.
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no.
Not Disney,
Let's-
but
I love
It's all right. It's all
do you
right.
really?
They're
Oh my
great.
gosh.
Yeah, that was we
Their
love
album
97
that just came out is so
Oh.
good.
so good.
Perfect.
So good.
and we that was our last concert before the pandemic started. We in San Jose we saw 1975 Mumford and Sons and
Oh my gosh.
of Monsters and
So good.
Men and I
Oh,
think
wow.
21 Pilots. right?
No, no.
Oh, is that
I can't
different?
remember. It was like one other fun one. But
I
can't
mean,
to,
remember.
like,
Even yours? No.
It was so
That's
awesome.
pretty good. That's a good concert to like kind of
It was a
end
great
concert going
lineup.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that was
Yeah.
our first time seeing 1975 and our like third time seeing Mumford.
Yeah.
But 1975 just killed it.
It was
Oh,
amazing.
so
They were
great.
so fun live.
They are
Yeah.
very good.
Good
Are you guys?
time.
Were you guys involved at all with the Taylor Swift ticket drama? Did you guys
Oh,
try
no.
and get tickets?
We didn't even try. No,
No, we
didn't
either.
You guys okay, I was gonna say you guys
No.
asking. I was like, did you guys
No.
score tickets?
Yeah, I feel
No,
like it
no.
was- it
My
was a tough
brother-
world to
yeah.
be in.
Tough world. My brother's a giant Taylor Swift fan, so he's like, "Do you guys want to go?" And I'm like, "Bro, we ain't getting tickets." And sure
No.
enough,
Yeah.
that all
No.
happened.
He didn't get it.
So,
No.
Yeah,
tried.
it's been weird because like once we had our son, we were just like we want to go to concerts, but we've
We
just
became
become more
homebodies a
homebodies.
lot, but I feel like we're getting into the world of going out more. We
Yeah.
went to a Niners game the other day, which was really fun. And it's like,
oh,
I
fun.
feel like I'm getting more ready to like go out and just do stuff again because we can leave our son with like grandparents and he does
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, cool. So we can live again.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
probably hard. I can imagine, like even new. We don't have any dogs yet or anything or living things in the house other than us. But like even like I'm so weird. I'm very OCD. So like even like my new iPad, like, oh baby, go to sleep.
Oh,
Like I'm
gosh.
particular about like stupid tech. Let alone I can't imagine a breathing child. You've given birth to this thing. I bet you it's probably
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
like nerve wracking to leave him with family.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was
Yes,
in the-
definitely in the beginning. It's gotten easier and easier for sure, but there's definitely a point in the beginning where you're like, I cannot leave anyone here with this
Oh.
child. Like I have to
Yeah.
be with him all the
Yeah.
time.
well, the weirdest thing was that we found out that we were pregnant like December of 2019. So and then a few months after that, it was like,
COVID.
here's a pandemic
Oh
that you're
my
gonna have to go through with the baby.
Yeah.
So we
No.
literally just
Home
stayed
all the
inside
time.
and we were just like,
It's a weird time to have a
well,
baby.
and that
Oh
was
my
kind of one of the
gosh.
things we were like, we're just inside constantly. So let's just start a
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't start it till 2021, but we had the idea in 2020 because we're like, we're not like we don't go out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
we're trying to go out a
Gotta
little
do
bit
something
more.
fun
but,
at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been fun doing it
Yeah,
for sure.
that's kind of how we started too.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It was being pent up inside and going like, I got all this creative juices
Mhm.
flowing. I need to get it out somehow.
yeah.
And then podcast. So yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you
Oh my
guys
gosh.
started because we started, I think, March or April of 2021. You guys
Yeah.
were
September of
When?
21.
September
Okay.
of 21. Okay,
Yep.
nice.
So just
Yeah.
behind you guys.
So we're just
It's the
That's
year
so
for
cool.
podcasts.
Yes.
Yeah, really.
The best.
I
Year.
bet
all this
you like
reflection inside.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Best Buy and all those companies are like, oh man, we have all these mic sales and stuff.
Yeah. No kidding.
Right. Oh my gosh. So
So
great.
true.
So
I
true.
love it. All right, so it's time for some Disney questions. We want to get to know you a little more.
All right.
We know you a little bit personally
right.
now, and now we got to get to know you Disney style. So
Ooh, Disney.
we sent you some questions.
do
You've
it.
had some time to kind of marinate on this, hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
we'll preview it by going, how did the love for Disney start?
Okay.
Ooh.
We have different stories here because it definitely
Ooh,
started
okay.
different
I
for
love
both
it.
of us.
Story time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, go first.
Okay. So for me, I didn't really go to the parks much growing up. Like I think I went once or twice when I was really little, but it just like wasn't a thing, which is really weird because like my grandparents all loved Disney and it was like my family always loved Disney, but we just like never went to the parks. It was strange. I have a lot of family down in Southern California, so when we went down there, we would just like go for visits, and that was kind of it.
Right.
But I went to the park for the first time really when I was like 14 with my best friend and her family. She invited me because they're huge fans. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's go. It'll be a fun trip or whatever. And like, it was the most magical trip. And I just completely fell in love with the park at that point. And it's just grown more and more ever since then. It was just like, I don't know. It hit me so hard, like what a magical place it is. And it's hard to explain, but Disney people get it, you know?
Oh,
yeah.
Once you
Yeah.
go to the
We get
park
it.
and get to
Yeah.
experience it, it
Oh,
just
that's awesome.
happens. So yeah.
That's cool.
I was like a teen when it really happened. But I met Chris not too long after that. And that was something we connected on because he already loved the parks. So
Yeah.
you explain
So
that part.
I went ever since I was a baby. Like all my baby books, it's like me
Lots of Disney
like
on
being
there.
held, and then there's like Goofy right next to me.
That's
and
so cool.
and so my dad like never went as a child, and my grandpa would always just like drive past and be like, oh, there's that Disneyland place. So my dad started this intrigue because he never was able to go, and I think that carried over to when he had kids, because and then every single year ever since we me and my sister were around, we just went to the parks every single
Oh,
year.
cool.
And so growing up and just, you know, trying to get to that next ride, you know, that next height,
Sure.
and then finally getting to experience it. And the parks were so different back
So
then too. I
different.
remember like before we didn't even have fast passes, but my sister and I would just constantly go on Thunder Mountain over and over again. There was
Yeah.
like barely any line, and my parents
Yeah.
would even wait outside, and it was just so
Yeah.
crazy. You can't even think about doing that anymore, you know,
Yeah.
just running
Totally.
around.
No, yeah.
But
There's never a time when that
and-
happens.
No.
I know. I like just daydream about.
It's a
Yeah.
thing of
those
legend.
days.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Telling people today,
Miss
they're like,
those
no.
days.
It's like that meme. What's that meme of that like lady talking to her grandma? She's like,
Yeah.
just walk on rides, and it's like, okay, time
Okay,
for your
grandma.
pills,
Yeah.
grandma. Yeah. But yeah, so I just loved it so much. And then when I met her, we were both like 16
I
at
was
the time.
15,
Yeah,
yeah.
you were 15, and I was going to go on a family trip. And we had just started dating, and we're like, let's just bring Emily along too.
Cool.
And so we just started going, me and her, every year.
Yeah.
And then so it just kind of took on this new like love for Disney, like being able to like create those memories together.
we got engaged there.
Oh my
Nuh-uh.
gosh, I love it.
Special.
Where
Yeah.
at? Where
Yeah,
where
yeah.
at in Disney?
Yeah.
Right by the castle.
Yeah, right by the
Oh
castle.
my
Nice.
gosh, that's so
I went
cute.
the classic route. Yeah.
Yeah, but he had a very, very sweet planned out, which was fun. He had a friend that I didn't know that lived down in Southern California and had a pass to Disney come in and walk around while we were in that area with a Cinderella slipper and like pretend that he was
Oh.
going to try it on like all these people and then
Oh
come
my
directly to
gosh.
me. And I totally knew what it was about.
It's
When
supposed
I
to be
saw him
that
come
little,
out, I
like-
was like,
That's
because I already
so
had a little
cool.
inkling what was happening.
Yeah.
I was like, this
No.
is for me.
Then I
Oh
popped
my
out.
gosh.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's
pretty
it was a
perfect.
fun little.
That's a
Yeah, I
okay,
wanted
that's
like a
pretty
Disney
magical.
cast member in it, but this guy was like kind of trying to get into the acting scene. So I was like, you could pretend like you're a cast
You
member.
did great.
Like one of those little,
Very
remember, like,
believable.
that little guy with the monocle, right? And
Yeah.
Cinderella, he's
Yeah.
like the one
Oh.
trying it on, and then the prince comes out. I
Yeah.
wasn't very prince like that day. I wasn't in like a royal suit or anything, but I came out and then proposed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
it was
Oh my
very
That-
special.
That's
That's
amazing.
fun.
That is so magical.
What the heck? All right.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, Chris making me look like a fool over here. I blubbered like I love you 4 times, and then just was like, here's this ring I bought.
No.
We need to know the location. Where was this location?
Still sweet.
It was
Or
Monterey.
you don't have to-
It was Monterey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
sweet.
So,
sweet.
yeah.
We love Monterey.
We
It
were
is
on
a
another
great place.
that is so sweet. We were on another Disney podcast, and then I told that story, and he was like, we were at a dive bar in Vegas, and he bought
yeah.
like
Oh my
a
God.
little- was it like a plastic ring or something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah.
So Monterey is a lot better than
Hey.
that. But
Yes.
shout out to the other podcast. That is amazing.
I'm happy to be in the middle. I'll take the middle.
Yeah.
I'll take that spot. Second place. I'll take it.
Still good.
That's
still
so
good.
cool.
Oh my
That's so cool.
gosh.
Okay, so started young for both, relatively young.
Mhm.
Still,
Yeah.
teenagers,
Oh,
still
yeah.
young,
Yeah.
and that's cool. Yeah, mine was a little late
Awesome.
because I grew up not going, and every kid thought I was the weird one. Like, you've never been to Disneyland? And I was like, I don't know. My parents just never took me. So like, again, I wasn't like 2. I was 12 the first time I went. But Caitlin was like,
Okay.
same thing. So
Yeah.
same with Chris was like, I was born nearly at Disneyland, like
Yeah,
3 months
my
in.
parents. Yeah, we went. Yeah, we'd go a couple times a year. My parents were obsessed with Disney,
Oh.
so I just grew up with.
Aw.
So I luckily found someone who loves Disney equally as much as I do, which is really nice.
Yep. Weirdo.
Yes.
We're always
Oh.
talking about that too. It's like, I don't know what I would do if I,
I
ended up
know.
with
Right?
someone that didn't love Disney like me.
Yeah.
That
Like,
would be the toughest thing ever.
it'd be tough.
So did your Caleb, did your love start on that first trip, or like how did it kind of grow when you went with Caitlin, or like how
Yeah. So for sure,
like,
the
were
first
you already
trip.
a big Disney fan when you met?
Yeah. So growing up, I was a Disney fan, but again, my parents weren't super like, you're going to watch all the Disney movies and all that stuff. So the first trip was like a eye-opening, like, I've been missing out for the last 12 years of my life. People have been going to this
That's
place.
amazing.
It was like, it was with a family friend. For some reason, this is the crazy thing. Sorry, story time.
Oh yeah.
He lived in Phoenix, and we had moved to Sacramento from Phoenix. It was a whole long story. And instead of flying down and meeting them in LA, he said, why don't you fly to Phoenix and drive with us like 6 hours? And I was like, okay, being 12 years old, that sounds like a great plan. And so I flew down to Phoenix and did the drive with them.
Oh my
And
God.
figured out I get the car sick. So that's a fun story. But
Oh no.
yeah, so did Disney with them. So it was a good time, but that's where it started. But definitely grew when Caitlin and I were old enough to start going with each other.
Mhm.
And she has family down there, so we'd be able to sneak off being poor high schoolers and college age kids, like being able to stay with them and all
Yeah.
that good stuff.
We did
So-
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Family down there,
10
sleeping
minutes
on the couch.
away. It was
Yeah.
like,
Yes, saved
Yeah.
so much money.
Those are the
Yeah.
most
Oh,
fun
yeah.
trips. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they are.
So
Yeah,
much
we
fun.
started the same way as well. Like he went on I think it was my 17th birthday. Was my 16th 16th birthday? He went with my
Oh,
family, and that was our
yeah.
first trip together for Disney.
oh,
So,
Yeah.
gosh.
We have-
Very close.
Wow, what a
Yeah.
Right?
coincidence.
That is so
Small
weird.
world.
We have these like parallels between Make It Magical pod because there's like a whole bunch of things. Like our anniversary's on the same date. We live in the same.
Whoa.
town
Oh my
and stuff.
gosh.
And then with you guys, like 16 years old, going to Disneyland for the first time.
Yeah.
too.
Right?
That
That's
is so
awesome.
crazy.
So funny.
Young
Oh,
kids
man.
out there. Yeah, we have
Yeah.
we have a picture of us in front of the castle with
gosh.
matching sweatshirts on.
It's-
Oh, it's so good.
Oh,
It's the
my
best.
gosh.
Our
We need to
first
see
picture
it.
in front of the castle is like the most awkward thing.
Same.
It's
so bad.
It's
Yeah.
horrible.
Same. Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
We
So
need to.
good.
We need to. When this episode comes out, we'll just on our
Swap.
story
We'll
post.
both
those
post
awkward-
our
yeah.
awkward
That's a good
photos.
idea. Let's do it.
I love it.
So the world
Oh my
can
gosh.
see.
Yeah.
We have plenty of those.
Yes.
Us
Okay.
too. My gosh.
Yeah.
Second question: favorite Disney movie?
This is a tricky one.
Oh, there's
Yeah,
so
this is
many,
tough.
right?
Uh,
The list
kind of
is
tough. Yours
endless.
is.
Yeah,
we
I
have
mean,
a
I have
staple.
my ultimate favorite because it's just always been, but there's so many that are like, up there as well.
Sure.
But my favorite has always been Peter Pan.
Okay.
It's just
I love it.
such a nostalgic movie for me, and it just the music in it, the whole story of just like being young at heart just speaks
Yeah.
to me so much because that's what Disneyland is for me. So
Right.
I've always loved that movie. It is
Aw.
100% my favorite. And I've got
Solid
a lot
pick.
of them, but
Yeah,
that's
a good one.
Yeah, that's the top for sure.
Yeah. It almost like is Disneyland in a movie, like the whole
Yeah.
idea of like staying young. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is a great one.
Exactly.
Mine is going to be Lion King, and
Yes.
there's so many
Yeah.
good Disney movies, but Lion King is just so great. It has everything that you want in a story, like
Mhm.
this kind of you're kind of cast out and you're like kind of at your lowest, but you meet people there, and then you come back and are kind of like the savior that you know,
Yeah.
this triumphant entry. And then the music is just so good, and the animation is great. Like
For sure.
I think it has some of the best music, and then it has Hans Zimmer doing that like amazing score, and then I mean, I just
and it
feel
was like
it can't be
right
good.
around the time that we were born, basically. So we like just grew up with that movie.
Watching
I feel like
yeah.
it was just our
all
time.
the scenes. Oh my gosh,
They're
just
so
like
good.
the scenery and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we were listening to your like Disney soundtrack episode, and I was like waiting for you to like mention Lion King, and right when you did, I was like, yes,
Number one.
That was really
yeah.
tough for us. Yeah,
I was waiting.
That
I'm
was
like,
not, yeah,
Like they
it's
better.
like not even
I
on
know,
our
I'm
list.
like
You're
they
like,
better, yeah.
Unsubscribe, cancel. I'm just kidding. No,
honorable
Oh my-
mention Lion King. We're not gonna have it in our list.
it's a decent soundtrack. No,
It's okay.
This Land by Hans Zimmer
Oh
in
my
that movie.
gosh.
The
So
best
good.
Come on.
I like
Disney
wanna
song ever.
cry every time I hear
Right?
it.
Have you guys seen the Broadway?
I was
like,
just gonna
musical?
ask that too.
No.
No, we want to so
Ooh,
bad.
it's-
See the
You
Broadway.
guys should, because that music, and then you see like the live performers there,
Oh.
like ushers, like on the side,
Theatrical.
and then they do all those Hans Zimmer songs, and you're just crying your eyes
It's
out.
beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
Go
That's
Okay,
so
well,
good.
Time
we
it
need
comes
to do group
around.
trip.
Yeah, group.
Group
What's
trip.
Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that
Oh
would
my
be
gosh.
so fun.
All right, so next question for you guys. What is your favorite ride at Disneyland /
Another
DCA, I
tough
guess?
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys love to throw the tough ones at us
I
right out the
know.
gate.
Sorry.
But my favorite is always going to be Pirates. It's just like another super nostalgic one for me, and just feel like there's so much like Walt Disney in that ride for me. I just think about the fact that he got to like walk around inside the ride, and he had so much part in it.
Yeah.
And it's just such a fun ride. There's like a little bit of thrill, and it's so long. Like it's
Sure.
such a nice long ride, and it's just, I don't know. It really wraps you into the story, which I love.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
fun.
We love
That's
that
a good
ride.
one.
It's-
And it's like the best bang for
Yeah.
your buck, like wait time to
Oh,
like ride
exactly.
ratio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is so true.
So worth it.
Yeah, and you get like I don't know, just you get a little bit of the thrill, and there's no height requirement. Like
Yeah.
when our baby was literally a
A
baby,
year, yeah.
and then
Yeah.
you get that thrill, you get the nice like coolness, and then you just get to
Mhm.
like see all the
Just a
amazing
little break.
animatronics. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's so good. But mine is gonna be Indiana Jones.
Okay.
Love that ride. Yeah.
Indiana Jones, yeah. That I mean, when I went on it, and even to this day, I mean, now we have like Rise of the Resistance and
Mhm.
things like that, but that was the most immersive ride that I've ever been on, from queue to the actual ride itself. There's just something about it. When I was walking through those caves the first time, I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
Is
if this is the queue, like what's the ride gonna be like?
Right?
Yeah.
And then the whole like hydraulic system kind of matching that like Star Tours system with like
Yeah.
almost a dark ride, and that
Mhm.
just blew me away.
such an exciting
And last
ride.
time I went on it, the snake wasn't even working, which was such a bummer.
I
There's a
think
lot
it
of things
hasn't been
broken
working
in the
for a
ride, but
while.
which is so sad to see, like your favorite ride just like not get the care that
Yeah.
Yeah,
It deserves.
needs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
hopefully they'll be able to.
It's so many people's
So,
favorite too. Like,
yeah.
come on. Disney
Like
should
imagine
go
if
with
like someone who came from Walt Disney World comes to Disneyland for their first time,
yeah,
and then they're like, oh my gosh, we don't have Indiana Jones, and then they ride on it and they're like, well, dinosaurs better because like
Yeah.
those actually
Oh,
work, and
no.
you're like,
Oh
no,
my
no, no, no,
gosh.
no. Like, it's supposed
Yeah.
to work.
no.
Heresy. Yeah.
Which dinosaurs great, but like Indiana Jones at its
though.
peak is the best.
Amazing. Yeah.
True.
When the snake is working, when the ball is rolling,
Yeah.
everything is.
Yeah.
When features
Everything's
work, it's a
fine.
fantastic ride. Yeah.
It's incredible.
And there were
Yeah.
times when like Indy at the very end is like just standing there and like not talking. That's
Yeah,
happening
yeah.
times too. It's like,
Yeah.
what is
Just the
happening?
climactic finish is like just a stationary Harrison Ford.
Saying
But
nothing.
What are your guys' favorite rides? I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You go.
Okay.
We're throwing the
so-
questions
Yeah,
back
yeah,
at
you
you.
can.
Yeah.
Listen to.
No, I love it. So mine annoyingly like will change depending on the time of year. So I'm just gonna say right now, I think Haunted Mansion. I used to be like you, Emily, and I loved Pirates like since I was younger.
Mhm.
And then something happened. I have no idea what, but I could ride Haunted Mansion like all day and just love it. And it could be the only ride that I go on.
Yeah.
But I
That's
do
so
love
awesome.
Indy, so
That's
it kind of
great.
switches
Yeah.
back and forth.
See, she just
Yeah.
stole my answer, which
I
is like
know.
lame. I'm going to sound like I'm
Yeah.
copying it. Mine's Haunted Mansion. Hers is Indiana Jones. So
Well,
we can go back.
That's so
This
good.
is your favorite
that's
ride.
You
so
guys are
funny.
just becoming one, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. You won't be
just
able
like
to
all the
discern
same
between
things,
us.
it's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what marriage does to you.
It really does. Yeah.
Sometimes we'll say like the same phrase at the same time, and we're like, we're the same
We're
person.
like, what?
It's great. And then if there's anyone around, I'm like, sorry you had to witness that. That's like the weirdest thing.
so awkward.
It's so true.
Uh,
So true.
We've done that plenty of times on the podcast, and it's really
Yeah.
embarrassing.
I love it.
All right, let's talk
So
food.
funny.
Let's talk food. What's your favorite
Right.
food
Go.
item at the parks?
Oh my gosh. This one I had to like choose a couple different ones. I can't lie.
Okay.
I have a few favorites that I feel like are kind of staples in every trip. Like if I
Yeah.
don't get it, I'm pretty bummed. And for me, I love getting bread bowls from either like on Pacific Wharf or at the what's it called in Disneyland? The it's like that tiny little shack next to
Harbor
It's on
Galley?
Mission-
Harbor Galley.
Yeah, Harbor Galley. Right?
Harbor Galley,
Yeah.
yes, that one.
Yeah.
They have great clam chowder bread bowls, and those have like become such a staple food item for me. That's like
As
like
it's
a
becoming
lunch.
nighttime.
lunch
and
to
lunch,
dinner.
yeah,
Like I
okay.
mean, it kind of varies. I
Just
think I
warms
literally
you
had
up.
it at like 11 a.m. actually on our last trip.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
true.
just like, we hadn't had breakfast, and I was like,
Yeah.
super hangry, and like we could not find food for the life of us. And I was like, I'm just getting my bread bowl now. I don't care. Like I'm just gonna eat it.
It's so
And
good.
it was great. And he got a beer, and it was 11 a.m. and we just
It was-
Oh my gosh.
it was
Hey,
great.
Disney
Just kinda
time's
throw it
Yeah.
out,
different.
Just like an airport.
Rolls
Yeah,
get thrown out the
Yep.
window in Disney.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So bread bowls are definitely a favorite, but I also love corn dogs and Dole Whip. Dole Whip obviously is
Oh
like
yeah.
top shelf favorite.
Yeah.
Love
See,
it.
I need to try a
All
corn dog
solid. Okay, yeah, corn dogs look. Caitlin
I've never had
refuses
one.
to try one
at the parks. That is
at the parks.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
she's
so
had corn
good.
dogs.
Pork,
She's
okay.
cultured. No, but like it's
Definitely.
and they look so. I can't have them because the allergy thing. But like each time we walk past,
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
Caitlin, you have got to devour one of those for me,
You
and she
know.
refuses.
I know.
They're
I'm
so
telling
good.
you,
They're
there's
so good. The
nothing
batter's so
like a
good.
Disneyland corn dog. Like, I mean, if you've had a corn dog, you know kind of the idea, but Disney just does them
Yeah.
perfectly. Like they're crispy on the outside, and there's like
Oh,
plenty of that like cornmeal,
gosh.
and like the hot dog itself is just so good.
It's really good.
Can't explain it. You just have to get one.
Okay, I'm
But
sold.
kind of like you are with a corn dog is probably like us with popcorn. Like we
Yeah.
don't get popcorn at
We
the Disney parks because
never
we're like
get popcorn.
oh no, it's like a movie theater. thing.
Yeah,
I
or
wanna
like we
get,
can
like,
have it at home.
you
Like if
know.
I'm
Yeah.
Oh, the
Guys,
popcorn is
you don't
Is
want to
it so-
spend
I know, everyone
$5
tells us.
for popcorn?
I have a popcorn bucket like thing that everybody
Bucket would be fun, but
I would
We're
love to,
suckers,
but I'm
though,
just
yeah.
like,
so is it good because everyone keeps telling us to try the popcorn? We were
It's-
about to, and then we're like, well, let's just get like the mac and cheese bread.
No, you have to get it. There's something I can't figure out if it's just the I don't know, the notion that you think you're at Disney so it tastes different or if it actually does. But to me, when I'm there and I'm eating it, it's the best popcorn
It
I've
for
ever
sure
had.
does because
Ooh,
they're
okay.
pumping
Okay.
like they've literally have a machine. If you stand in front of it, it is blowing butter right in your face. Like so,
Ooh, I like
you want?
that.
Yeah, it is. It smells so good. So when you're
Lovely.
like you're standing there paying for it, you're like, I'll take 4 boxes, please.
Yeah.
So yeah, in the moment, it makes perfect sense. But not gonna lie, when you like eat it, you're like, I'm still hungry now. I'm thirsty.
It's just a snack.
stupid
Yeah,
snack.
yeah,
Yeah.
so salty. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
Seriously.
Good. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, well, I think
Oh my gosh.
we have to do it. I think next time we're there, I'm going to be
Yeah.
making it a point because
Yeah.
we've talked about it long enough at this point. Gotta
Yeah.
just do it for like a
Gotta
show
do
or
it.
something. It's a good
Yeah.
Do
it.
snack.
Yeah.
for a
Yeah, you
show,
try the
right?
popcorn and then I'll
Yeah.
try the corn dog.
Yeah.
No.
Deal.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll
that's-
meet back
that's
up.
a
All right.
Talk about
it's
it.
a pact. It's a pact.
Oh,
What's,
yeah.
your, what's your
Okay.
favorite, Chris?
Yeah, so I think my overall favorite, and I don't get it every single time because like it's just so small, you know. But I love the Chieftain chicken skewer. Like it's so tasty from
Okay.
Bengal barbecue.
Yeah,
Bengal
yeah.
barbecue. It's like
It's really delicious.
It's so good. But
Mhm.
usually, like by the time I'm thinking about it, I want like a full meal, so I don't get it. But it's
Sure.
always been like a favorite.
It's like a snack item.
But the one that I always have to go with every time I'm in the parks, Dole Whip is great, but a churro for me, like a warm
All right.
churro at nighttime is always like my go-to. So
However, the fact that we learned that we can buy them from Smart and
Yes.
Final.
Smart and Final,
If you've seen on our
Oh my
page.
We did see
That
that.
is
Tastes
literally
exactly-
the same churros as in the park. So
Oh
we
my
have them.
gosh.
We
Oh my
literally
gosh,
have
we
them in
have
our
some.
freezer. We should have made them
I
tonight.
should have made them.
Dang
You
it.
should have
gosh.
churroed while we
But-
were talking.
Yeah,
Yes.
I know. And your whole house starts smelling like Disneyland. It's the
God.
best thing
It
in the
is
world.
wonderful. Open the
Oh
oven.
my
It's just
gosh.
Oh,
Disneyland.
Yeah, so good.
It's great.
And that churro sundae that I talk about the churro sundae, by the
Oh my
way, all the
gosh.
time.
It's so good.
Yeah, I mentioned
is
it on a
so good.
podcast episode, and people reached out and they're like, "Where's that video?" I'm like, "Go to Chris and Emily's page.
Oh my
Here's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
video."
Because of the
It's
food.
so
Thank you.
yes. For
It
those who
is
don't know,
delicious.
Chris and Emily post reels sometimes of drinks and of different food items, and they look so good. There was the tater tots one.
Oh,
I have like a
yeah.
list. The Sunday, I'm like, I could go on and on.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, Trader Joe's
made
has
some
that
fun
cookie
ones.
butter, and it's so
Oh
good.
Yeah,
my
it's like so
gosh.
easy to make. I mean, honestly, it's like as long as you know where to find those items at the store, you just put it all
Yeah.
together
There you go.
and there it
I
is.
love
You got it.
Oh my
I love
gosh.
it. The
So
recreating
good.
that
Oh
is
my
fit.
gosh.
Your idea on how you guys open up every episode, recreating something from the parks, genius. Number one, and number two,
Thank you.
it's like so fun to watch because like every single week you're like, what's it gonna be? Like
Yeah.
what
What
drink?
are
are
we
we-
making this
'Cause, like,
time?
I'm not super versed in like making drink. I'm super boring. I'm like, I'll have a glass of wine,
Yeah.
and that's where like I draw the
Oh,
line there. I'm like, I'll
That's
have a nice
generally us too.
crazy truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like when I see your stuff, I'm like, Caitlin, we've got to go to Bevmo and stock up on all this random stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it does take a lot of random
Yeah,
things. I
it
can't lie
does.
to you. Our pantry is chock full of so many things that we have used for like one cocktail.
Yeah, 'cause
and then it's just like, oh my gosh, we spent so much money on that. It's just
Disneyland will
sitting
be
there.
like, oh, get this like coconut or like pineapple something or like melon
super
flavored
random.
whatever, and so we're just like,
Like, we're
well,
not
we
gonna
don't,
use that
we're
on
not
a
gonna
normal
like
Yeah.
drink that on a normal basis, but
Yeah.
we use it for a
Yeah.
show. So like it's just sweet mixers that are.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
so good.
That's
It's
so
pretty
funny.
bad. Because
Yeah.
yes, on a normal basis, we're drinking wine as well.
Yeah.
Like we're
Yeah.
that's our go-to as well. We're going wine tasting tomorrow. It's
Oh,
like
Yeah.
fun.
Seeing behind the
Pretty
scenes
much.
with Chris and Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah, we drink wine.
The
It's all a
Oh, yeah,
farce.
we don't
Just
even
kidding.
do that. Yeah, I know. We were
Cocktails are for
telling
the show. Yes.
Cuckoo Culture on our episode that came out today. We're like, we started doing that. Like that was our idea at the beginning, and we were just like, well, we just have to
going
keep
now.
doing it.
It's like a
So
Yeah.
thing
now we were just like, we're just stuck to
You're
like eating it.
committed.
We haven't done a snack in a while. We should do
Yeah,
a
we
snack.
do need to do
It just
another
takes a
snack.
long time, like after we
Yes.
put our child down to like actually do
Sure.
a snack. So
Sure.
Some of
Usually
them have
do
to, like,
drinks,
bake
but,
or
um,
you know, like it's a longer process.
Yeah.
But
but
The-
yeah,
the
now we're
food
like
things are
locked
fun to
in.
me.
Now every week, we're like, okay, what are we have to
We're
figure something
expecting
out.
it.
Yeah.
fun.
Yep.
though.
It's
Oh
been
my
fun.
gosh.
Yeah,
I
That's
love
good.
it. Okay, so
Another food related
yeah,
question.
we have your favorite food item, but what's your
Yeah.
favorite restaurant at the parks?
Ugh. Unanimous answer on this one. And I
What
think
is
you guys
it?
will agree because I've heard on your show that you love it as well. Lamplight Lounge.
Let's
hands
go.
down,
Okay.
Is the
Yes.
best
Lamplight
restaurant.
Lounge. Yes.
It's so good.
It's
Quickly
amazing. What do you-
became a must do restaurant for us when
Yeah.
we started going.
What's your guys'
It's-
favorite thing to get there? Like, what's your
Ooh.
go-to
Well,
lamplight?
So food wise, I always got the lobster nachos. Up
Okay.
until
Yeah, yeah.
recently, I was like, okay, I've had it like most of the times we've gone. So when we went on our last trip, I was like, I'm gonna try something new, and I finally did, and it was delicious. So if it's still there by the next time we go, I'll probably get it again. It was like the salmon PLT or something. So it's like
Ooh.
Okay.
Pancetta.
pancetta
Mhm.
and like salmon and like tomato and lettuce. It's like a sandwich.
Oh God.
So good. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I was like
That sounds
blown
bomb.
away at how delicious it was.
Yeah,
Yum.
and then when I first went, they had a ratatouille, which was like amazing because I
We've never
Okay.
I know
had
I was like,
that.
wait, ratatouille at Lamp like a Pixar restaurant. I was
Yeah.
like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Second
do
time we
it.
went, it wasn't there, so I had the burger. And then third time I went, they had a new dish, which was an al pastor pork chop, and that was
Oh.
Yum.
incredible.
It was
Oh.
So I've gotten
delicious.
different things every single time, but their food, the ambiance, the drinks, everything is
perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so fun.
And
Oh
we've
my
made
goodness.
quite a
It is.
few of the cocktails from there, which are all amazing as well. Like some of the best cocktails in all of Disneyland for sure
Yeah.
are found at Lamplight. So all around just the best place. Like
And it's a nice
Can't be beat.
breather, like from being in the parks and being hectic and all this stuff. And then you're like, now I get to sit down,
Sure.
just enjoy a meal and like
Yeah.
get
Yep.
that energy back. You
And
know,
I feel
so
like
nice.
it's such a perfect like in between type of restaurant. Like it's not like Carthay Circle or Blue Bayou where it's like super super fancy and like
Yep.
you know a little bit more high. I don't know
Stuffy.
if Blue Bayou
Yeah.
is really
Yeah.
counted that
Yeah.
way anymore. But yeah, and it's not like some of the like grab and go ones either. It's just
Sure.
like
Right.
it's the perfect amount of
Yep.
everything. I don't know how to explain it.
So, final question out of the round. Which rides would you swap between Disneyland and Walt Disney World? So, if you could
This
swap
was such a
one
good
ride.
question.
Yeah, very good question. I love this question. And there's so much I feel like I could choose. But
Yeah.
the one time that we've been to Disney World, which was in 2018, it's been a couple years and we really want to go again.
Yeah.
But my favorite ride there is Flight of Passage. Because
Yes.
I just don't
Yeah.
think I've been on anything like that. It is so immersive and so much fun. However, my motion sickness has gotten much worse since the last time we were there, and I don't know how I would handle it at this point.
Yeah.
Side
Just
note,
gotta
but
push through.
great ride, and I think I would bring that here and swap it for Star Tours. And my reasoning is that we already have Galaxy's Edge with
Sure.
lots of other
It's
Star
true.
Wars rides.
Mhm.
And
Sure.
it's kind of like weird that Star Tours is even there anymore because it just doesn't really fit. It doesn't belong.
It's a good point.
So obviously, like
We have Millennium
spatially,
Falcon.
spatially,
Yeah.
I don't know that it would work to have Flight of Passage there because it's a big ride.
These are
But-
very
Sure.
hypothetical.
Yeah, it's a
Sure.
hypothetical answer, but
I love it.
that's what
And
would
can you
if I
even
could.
ride Star Tours anymore because of like motion sick stuff? Like, yeah.
We
We
didn't even
haven't-
try. I don't think
Yeah.
I've tried since before I had our son, and ever since I
Yeah.
had him was when it got
Kinda
really
ruined it.
bad. Like
Yeah.
Space Mountain was really hard for me.
Oh,
when
same.
I did it last.
So
Same.
sad.
It's gotten rough. I'm
Ooh.
like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
But yeah, Star Tours would probably mess with me.
It's always kind
Yeah.
of messed with us. Yeah, with the
Yeah.
3D.
Yeah.
Like the 3D is
For
cool,
sure.
but then you're just like,
It's like just getting
this
thrown
is the worst
around.
thing in the
It's
world.
tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
We're
it
the
is.
same
So,
way.
I mean, I do love Star Tours, but
Yeah.
mine, since you already brought over Flight of Passage, which I was gonna say, but she brought it over, so now I'm
Sorry.
like, let's steal another from Disney World, and I'm going to
Mhm.
steal Tron Light Cycle from Walt Disney World.
Which
And
we
I'm
didn't
gonna
get
just-
on, obviously.
These are
but-
these are
Pre-opening.
It's gonna go
Pre-opening.
into
Yeah.
pre-opening. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like
It's
right
gonna be
before
great.
the opening day, I'm taking it away, being like, no, you don't even get to experience it. Come over to
Sorry.
Disneyland. And obviously, spatial
Yeah.
wise,
there's
does
no
spatial
not
problem.
possible
make
way.
any
Sure.
sense. Yeah, spatial problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna replace Buzz Lightyear. Astro
Okay.
Blasters. I would have replaced Autopia because I didn't care about it, and then our son is so into cars, and we went
Yeah.
on Autopia with him,
And it was
and he
magical.
loved it. So I was like, I feel so bad taking Autopia away. So
However,
I'm just gonna take
there's
away Buzz.
Innovention, whatever that building is now, which
Oh,
is
that's
very,
Oh,
true.
yeah.
Ooh,
weird.
so if that
Could've done
counts
that.
as
an attraction.
an
yeah, I don't know.
attract, I'll take that out.
I'd
'cause
count it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
So
Oh.
basically,
I'll-
what we're
I'll
saying
leave Buzz
is
Lightyear.
Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
should be-
just
Get rid of
scrap
Tomorrowland.
it.
do a little, yeah.
If they got
That's
rid
what
of
I'm
it
getting.
completely, we'd be okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just revamp that thing. So,
Right.
Needs a little
um,
help.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so Tron, that just looks so amazing. And the thing
Oh,
is,
yeah.
I mean, I always wanted to go to, well, I still want to go to Shanghai because of the Pirates of the Caribbean there.
Yes.
But I remember
Yes.
Tron was like the one where I was like, oh, like Tron and Pirates. But then now that we're getting Tron like in the States, I'm like, okay, like
Yeah.
Just have to
I
go
can't
over
wait
there.
to go over
You
there.
just have to go.
But yeah, that Pirates is just
Yeah.
amazing.
All right. So
Mhm.
next section here we got for you. So we've done, you've probably heard it. We've done our perfect day at Disneyland, perfect day at DCA. So this is like
Yeah.
Mhm.
no budget. This is logistics go out the window. This is like if an idyllic day at the parks, what would that look like for you guys? Where are you staying? Like if you can hit what couple rides are you hitting? Where are you eating? What does that look like?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes. So
So-
if like money's no issue, if we can just like do whatever we want and we have help with our son,
Yeah.
then I have good answers for this. If it
Okay.
was just us, it would
Yeah.
be it would be a different story probably. But I think we would probably be waking up at Disneyland Hotel.
Okay.
And I was stuck between Disneyland Hotel and California Event or
Yeah, that's
California.
Grand
Grand
California.
California.
Grand California.
That's a hard one.
But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, there's just something about the Disneyland Hotel. We've stayed there once and
Yeah.
there's just something about it. It's just, I don't know. It's got
Yeah.
the Disney magic. I mean,
It's
Grand
magical.
Californian is like majestic and
Yeah.
grand and amazing, and I have
Yeah.
not stayed there yet, and I would
I
love
have when I was a kid, but
Yeah.
yeah.
to. But
There's something special about
yeah, there's
Disneyland.
just something special about Disneyland Hotel. So I think we would probably choose Disneyland Hotel to
Okay.
stay at.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, I think. Why don't you jump in?
Okay,
I'm not gonna
okay.
say the whole thing.
So we were like,
Give
this,
your
this
opinion.
might not even make
And
sense
then?
because of
Yeah.
how well. Yeah, we were just like, oh wait, if money wasn't an option, oh my gosh, this changes
An
everything.
issue.
If money
Yes.
isn't,
Yeah.
if money isn't an issue, then we would get a plaid, obviously, so we could do
Oh,
like as many rides as
yes.
possible. This is
I
a
love
pivot.
it.
We didn't have this in here,
Yeah,
but yeah.
actually, we did
get
not
a
have
I love
plaid.
it.
And then we're going to do rides we definitely want to hit. We would do Indy, Pirates, Haunted, Rise, Thunder, and Space. While the grandparents are watching the sun. Unless that's a plaid feature, that'd be so cool. It's like just watch our son.
Yeah, babysit for us,
Walk in,
please.
right? But
Hey, for
then
how much they
with our
charge?
son-
You'd think, yeah.
Right?
Might as well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be amazing? That'd be
Yeah.
so cool.
I would love that.
But then with our son, he loves the train. He loves
Oh,
Small
fun.
World, Autopia, and Jungle Cruise. So we would
Yeah.
definitely hit all those up. And then in DCA, we would hit up Guardians of the Galaxy. Obviously, Mission Breakout is just so much fun.
Yeah.
Radiator Springs, Racers, Soarin',
Favorite.
Midway,
Mhm.
Ariel, and Golden Zephyr for our son.
Yeah.
Did I leave
Oh,
anything
I
out?
love it.
And Credit
Golden
Coaster,
Zephyr.
I would definitely ride. You get a little motion
Yeah.
sick on
Yeah,
it
that
now,
messes
but
with me. But
um,
yeah, this is again very hypothetical because there is no possible way we could get on all of these rides in one day anymore because lines
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
just.
But with a
It's just-
plaid,
it's not
you'd have all
possible.
you'd have all this done by
Yeah,
like
with
That's
a
2
true.
plaid,
p.m.
That's
True.
true.
yeah.
yeah,
That
right.
is true.
Oh
I
my
guess
gosh.
a plaid that would be our solution.
We actually do know a plaid at Disneyland, but we would
Nuh-uh.
still have to pay the full thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I asked. I was like, "Wait, do we get a discount?" And he's like, "No, you have to pay the
No.
whole." I was like, "Okay." But the first time we ever met this guy, what happened? We were on Haunted Mansion,
Yeah.
and then one of our friends had to stay back because I don't know why
I
he had to.
forget. Oh, we
film.
had fast passes or something. And
Oh,
he
and
didn't.
he didn't. And he started talking to this plaid, and this plaid gave our whole group like 6 or 7
fast passes for like any
Oh,
ride
wow.
we
Any ride
wanted
we
or
could do.
something, and we were just
And then
like,
so we
That's
started
awesome.
connecting with this guy, but yeah, he just
Yeah.
like so
That's
we even
so
did
cool.
fast passes for Peter Pan, which is insane because there's no
'cause
fast
there
pass line, but
isn't.
with that like plaid
Fast passing, yeah.
help
fast pass thing, like we were
Yeah.
able to go
Yeah.
through the back and like ride that. So
That's
Oh,
sick.
that's
crazy, but-
amazing.
so yeah, a
Oh my
plaid, I
gosh.
would definitely pay for that. What was our next one here? So
Oh, yeah,
we did
yeah.
rides.
That's
Yeah,
good. You did rides.
rides.
What meals are you hitting up? So if you again, money's no.
meals, yeah.
What do you eat? Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What restaurants are you hitting up?
Probably
Well,
some of our
our
favorites
favorite
from that time,
for breakfast, I think, is Galactic Grill now, which
Okay.
Yay.
Yes.
it
Yeah.
never
which is-
really was
yeah.
before. Like we tried it like a couple trips ago. It was like pre-COVID, I think. We tried it for the first time because we were with some friends and they just randomly had gotten it and they were like, "Wow, this is like a really good breakfast burrito." And we are like,
We didn't know
"We
they had
love breakfast burritos."
Oh,
And like,
gosh.
so we
That's
went and tried
Caitlin's
it.
favorite.
I love
Yeah.
it.
It's
so
so
good.
good.
So
good.
good.
Delicious. And so yeah, that has become kind of a staple breakfast place for us. I also
Yeah.
love Jolly Holiday. We went there actually for the first time, I think on our first
couple
trip back
trips, yeah.
after COVID. And yeah, I love Jolly Holiday as well. They have
Yeah.
a lot of great baked goods and
Sure.
breakfast
100%
sandos
sandwich,
and
yeah.
stuff. And so it's another favorite. But
Solid picks. Solid picks.
lunch. I think so because I mentioned that we love corn dogs. We love to go to Corn Dog Castle, which is in California Adventure.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's where we end up. However, the Red Wagon, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Disneyland's
in
version, right?
Disneyland
Yeah.
they taste exactly the same. So I'm pretty sure they make the exact same corn
Yeah.
dogs in both places. So one of those two we would probably get as our lunch item
Lunchy.
or
Yeah.
the bakery at Pacific Wharf because that is also a
The bread
favorite.
bowl.
Yes.
The bread,
Yes.
yeah, the bread bowl. They also
so
secret.
good.
Can I drop a secret menu item here?
Ooh.
You could get
Yes.
if you want to have as much
many carbs as
carbs as you can.
possible.
You could do mac and cheese in a bread bowl there. It's a secret menu
Oh
item.
my
So,
gosh.
you know,
A
if you really
lot.
want to put your walking to the, to the test, be like,
That's
I'm
so
gonna have
good.
mac and cheese in a bread
Lots of
bowl,
bread.
and then just weigh yourself
Yeah.
at the end of the day and see what won, the walking or the
Okay.
bread
Sure.
bowl.
We did
Yeah.
it one time just to say that we did. We
Sure.
tried it, and I was like,
It was so good.
this is a lot of bread.
Yeah.
But like,
Yeah.
glad to say that we tried it once.
Yeah. Hey, when in Disney, do Disney.
Yeah, I
Just
don't-
do
it doesn't count.
Yes.
None of
You're
it
doing
no
counts.
14
rules.
miles anyway.
Oh
my
gosh,
throughout the
yeah.
day, so it's like, let's go.
Yeah.
It's gotta burn some of it off. That's why how I rationalize eating all the stuff I do. Like, I'm sure it's burning off somewhere. Yeah.
Has to
Yeah.
be.
Oh, for sure.
And yes, Chris also loves
I
to get
added, yeah.
some
So right
beer
around
at-
that, like, actually, yeah, right around San Francisco. It's gonna be San Francisco. now,
Yeah.
right? So Pacific Wharf. I like grabbing a nice little afternoon beer at the Pacific Wharf
Okay.
Distribution
Oh,
Company right
nice.
there. That
Mhm.
little trolley.
Yeah,
I think
the
has even
cart.
better beer than the Bayside Brews, which
Yeah,
is near Goofy Sky
totally.
School. So I
Yep.
always
Okay.
stop here, and they're nice people there.
Yeah.
They know me. They're like,
Oh, I love it.
No,
No,
I'm
I
kidding.
doubt they know you.
It's you again.
But it is right near. Yeah, it is right near the
Yeah.
Radiator Springs.
That
That like
beautiful arch.
archway. So I always
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yep.
Okay.
soaking in that
It's
in
like
the
our
light.
favorite
So,
spot.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So
Yes.
That's awesome.
And
And
then-
finish this off with dinner. You guys know.
Obviously, lamplight.
I mean, lamplight. Yeah,
Lamplight,
I could. Yeah,
duh.
could have guessed.
Prime.
With a
Yeah.
World of Color dining package. There we
Yes.
go.
Oh.
exactly.
Okay, now
Yeah.
you're
That
speaking
would
our
be-
language right
Yep.
now. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we're at about $12,000.
Yeah,
right?
We've been adding it
That's
up.
a drop in the bucket with the Powerball. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Seriously.
easy.
This is assuming we
What's
have the Powerball.
12,000? Yeah, that's so good.
Yep.
Uh,
Plan.
Gosh.
So that was a perfect day. I want to know what an actual day looks like after having a little one and being young parents and stuff. How has that changed the way you do the parks? So like, you do it one way when you're just two youngins running around, and how has it changed when having a little one of your own?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It changes. We have a lot to say on this topic. I think the biggest thing for us that we learned very quickly when we first went back, which was last year, our son was about a year, and we were very used to obviously how we had done things before. It was like,
Sure.
just constantly going, opening to
Yeah.
closing, just like running through the park. Had so much energy. And
Yeah.
we just really had to learn that like taking it slower, kind of going at a slower pace for him, and just like taking in all the little things that are special in a toddler's eyes
Mm.
just really makes the trip, and it's like, it's hard because, you get so used to how you do things, and it's hard to like not do it that way, even though we knew in our heads, like, oh, it's going to be different. It's not going to be what we're used to.
Right.
It was like,
Mhm.
it was an adjustment, but like after going a second time with him, like we did a few months ago, actually, no, we've gone 3 times. We've
Mhm.
gone 3 times with him now. Oh my gosh.
Hmm.
I just realized that. But yeah, in the times since, it's just, I think it's been easier for us to just kind of like release control and just be like, okay, the day's not going to go like how
Yeah.
we plan it ever. So let's just
Sure.
enjoy
Right.
as much of it as we can, just know that there's going to be hiccups along the way. He's going to probably have a meltdown at some point. Like
Aw.
it's going to be different than what we're used to, but just watching the park through a toddler's eyes, or just any kid really, for
Yeah.
the first few times, as they're like kind of like, he remembers it now. So like
Oh.
we'll look at books and stuff, and it's like he gets so excited, and I'll be like, oh, do you want to go again? I'll be like, yeah.
Oh,
And
that's so
it's
cool.
just
He
so
even-
it's so special.
Yeah, he even remembers the color Autopia car that he went on, and then what
Yeah.
was the other? There's another color that he was like. what's this?
Oh gosh, what was
Um,
that? I can't
It
remember
was
now.
another ride vehicle, and he
remembers
oh the
little
teacup, the
details.
teacup.
Oh yeah.
So we went in
Oh.
a purple or like a blue teacup, and then a red Autopia car. And every time he like sees it in our little Disneyland
Aw.
book, he'll like say the color, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
It's
the fact that he
crazy.
is, because sometimes
Yeah.
people are like, wait till they're like they could remember, and he might not remember it when he's 5 or 10.
Sure.
But he does actually like recollect that he went in a red Autopia car
Yeah.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
rode around with his dad,
Mhm.
along the track, and that that says something that,
Sure.
they do have those special times. And it's
we
so
have
special.
those special
And we
memories.
get to
Yeah, I was gonna
experience
say.
It's more
those
for the
times, yeah.
parents, I think,
Yep.
when
Right.
they're this age, to hold on to those memories and have all the pictures and stuff. And we'll have all that to show him when he gets older.
For
It's like,
sure.
Yeah.
I think it's totally worth it. And yes, it's totally every person's choice to like wait however long they're going to bring their kid.
Yep.
Like, I get that. But I fully support people bringing them at a young age, because I think that the memories that you make are totally worth it. And it's like, even though it's different, it's not what you're used to, it's
Yeah.
still so special in a different way. And the memories are just totally worth it. And yeah, I
Love
still
it.
look forward to going with him every time now,
Oh,
because
That's
I
cool.
just know
That's so
how
special.
how each time he goes, it gets more and more like he's noticing more and more about the park, and it's just so magical. I
Yeah.
love it. He got to see World of Color for the first time
Oh my
on our
Oh
last
my
trip,
gosh.
which was like the best.
That's
It was
perfect.
so
Oh my
fun.
gosh, it makes me
Yeah.
so excited. And he's not even my son. I'm like, that's so exciting.
Caitlin's like, right? It
It's
is
so
so exciting.
fun.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, like, the biggest tip, if people are like listening and they're expecting a child and all this stuff, I would say, like, we've done trips with and without grandparents. I think going with grandparents, or like going with some sort of
someone
family,
to help.
some sort of family,
Yeah.
definitely is very beneficial, because that way,
get
while
breaks.
they're, they could watch them maybe during their nap or whatever, and you could go experience some rides together. What we
Sure.
love doing, like, it was great when it was just us and our son, when single rider was still around, because like while
It's
he was
just
sleeping, we
not
would just
anymore.
single ride, and we would like hit some rides while he was sleeping.
Yeah.
And now
Yeah.
single rider is no longer a thing. You have to get the
Yeah.
Genie
Mhm.
Plus, and even with Genie Plus, like, you can't, like,
It
it still takes a
forever.
long time. So I would say go with family. We have an episode where we kind of broke down kind of tips going with kids,
Yeah.
and obviously that changes depending on the type of year that they're at, but yeah,
Having
it's-
help is huge.
it's
It's
really
a game
huge.
changer. It's like you I mean, Disneyland is such an overwhelming place regardless of having a kid or
Right.
not, but when
Yeah.
you have a kid, it's like another level, because they're just like overwhelmed by everything too, and
Mhm.
like the heat can be a lot, and there's just like so much going on around you. So to have someone else to kind of take that
Yeah.
I don't want to say burden, but
Yeah, no,
take
no.
some
Yeah,
of the
no.
weight off your shoulders
Sure.
is huge. It's so helpful. And sometimes it's not an option to have help, but when that is an option, I think it should be
Take
fully
it.
taken
Yeah.
advantage of, because
Definitely.
it's huge.
That's
very
awesome.
helpful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, like, having our son make sure that he gets a nap at some point in the day is also such a big thing for us, because he's on like a pretty not rigid schedule, but like he's always like had his nap time in the day, and
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah.
like kind of kept him on track with that. So in Disneyland, it's very important as well, because it's even more of an exhausting day and overwhelming.
Yeah.
So we always make sure that we kind of like take a rest period where we're in like, kind of a shady area, and he gets to
Yeah.
like lay back and like actually get a solid nap, because if not, he's going to be way like overtired
Sure.
and like not able
Yeah.
to even stay late at the park, which, this last time it was our first time like keeping him up that late to see World of Color. And it was like, oh my gosh, we're going to be able to do this. Like, let's make sure he gets a solid nap in the day, because he's going to be up till like 10. So
Yeah.
it worked out. Thankfully, he was exhausted by the end of the day.
Oh.
But getting that good rest midday is important for a toddler
Important.
of his age, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
We will be tapping into your knowledge, I'm sure, at one point. Being
Yeah.
like, how do you do this?
Well, yeah,
But-
because I mean, like, yeah, speaking from like our perspective, I always see these families with young kids, and you only see the good parts of it, right? Where you're like, oh,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the kid's gonna be amazing all day, and it's gonna be magic, and they're gonna stay up until midnight. But it's like, then, yeah,
Lie.
No.
then you come back into reality, and you're like, okay, wait, that's not
Yeah.
realistic. So I really appreciate hearing that from you guys, because it's good to keep that in
Mhm.
mind. Like, it's okay if it
The
doesn't
reality.
all go as planned, or if they have a meltdown,
Yeah.
it's okay. Like, it's okay to go back
Yeah.
and take a nap. So I like being able to hear
Exactly.
that.
Yeah. And I think
So-
like
Yes.
realistic expectations going into it, like you said, going, yeah, if it doesn't go to plan, that's okay.
Right.
Like we're still going to have a good time
Yes.
and make the best of it. So that's
Totally.
Maybe
lesson.
we'll do a realistic reel of just like him screaming in the park.
Yeah,
Like, this
that
is
would
what
be
I'm-
good.
See what really happens. It's
Could
not
be,
that bad. Like it sounds like it could be horrible,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like constant. There's just moments
Sure.
where it's gonna happen.
You're right.
No,
But
it's not crazy.
Oh my god.
but yeah, adjusting expectation is definitely
Adjusting
key.
expectations. that is so
Rather
good.
than thinking everything's gonna go great, you just have to realize
Yeah.
like sometimes
all these
it's
photos
not.
you see of little kids with Mickey, that's like that's like a highlight. But there's
Yeah.
Oh,
times
yeah.
where like
Oh my
these kids are
gosh.
Sure.
just
Exactly.
crying like crazy.
And we
Yeah.
have also had to realize that it is a-okay to pull out the tablet because
yeah.
Right.
especially in a place like Lamplight
Lamplight
Lounge when
Lounge,
we just
yeah.
want to like
we do not do it
relax
often.
For
but,
sure.
and not like you
Yeah.
know
No.
have to worry about him freaking out or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what, it's just gonna
Tablet.
be
We're
okay.
on vacation.
Yeah.
Like I
Yep.
always was kind of gonna be that judgy parent before having a kid. Now
Yeah.
it's just like,
Right.
what is gonna keep him happy?
Sure.
And for us to have an enjoyable trip overall, sometimes you just got to do it. And, you know, it's not
Yep.
like we do it all the time at home. It's for
Right.
trips, you know?
Yeah.
it's a little
Right.
vacation
You got to do what you
time.
got to do
For
sometimes.
sure.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. There was one, I think I told you about it. There was one thing you guys mentioned in your episode when you guys went to Disneyland when I think it was Stitch that your little one
Oh my
likes.
gosh.
And
Yes.
I think I told you, but they waited to see Stitch and the little one fell asleep.
Oh
no.
So they did-
no.
Right before we got there. It was so
like the
sad.
this is also like an expectation thing where like we had done so many reels like during like the time where it was social distance meet and greets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our
Yeah.
son was just loving the characters.
And
And
Yeah.
then,
from afar.
yeah, and it was so cute. And then this last trip, we're like, he's finally gonna meet them.
Right.
And with Mickey, he was like kind of nervous. And then Stitch,
Yeah.
he fell
Oh.
asleep, and I was like, oh,
Well,
that
that-
wasn't as we
Although he
planned.
did meet, he met Jesse and Bo Peep as well.
And that was actually
Oh,
really
fun.
sweet.
and he did, yeah, he
interaction,
liked
yeah.
those ones, and he loves Jesse, so it was like really cute.
Oh,
seeing him.
That's
that's
awesome.
He like sat on the ground and just played with herself.
It
Oh
was
my
really
gosh.
cute. But yeah, the Stitch one was so
That was
sad
so-
because he loves Stitch. He has always
Yeah.
loved Stitch. And he fell
Oh.
asleep, and we still took pictures of Stitch and signing his little
Yeah.
autograph book.
Oh my gosh.
Here's what you
Yeah.
missed. Yeah.
Well, they're like
Yeah,
remembering
right.
it on the podcast. I think I was getting ready for like work, and I remember being like, "Oh no, he fell asleep." But it's so
Wake
sad.
up. You will enjoy this moment, child. Yeah.
I know.
I tried, and I was like yelling. I was like, "Stay awake! We're gonna go meet Stitch!" And he was like,
2 minutes. 2
"Okay,
minutes.
never mind." It was
Oh my
great.
That's so good. Well, we've taken
Yeah.
up way too much of your time. We appreciate you
no.
guys sharing the knowledge of having a little one at the parks and just getting to know you and your favorites. But I've had a blast.
Yeah,
We're gonna do this more
Oh
often.
my gosh,
So
this has been
fun.
so great. This has
Thank
been
you
so
guys
great.
so much for having us on. We
No
had a blast,
problem.
seriously.
Yeah,
that's good
seriously.
to
And then
hear.
when Lion King comes into town, we'll
We're going.
get a babysitter. We'll grab some dinner, go see the show, and we'll get a meet in person. It'll be so good.
That
Yeah.
will be
gosh.
perfect. You can show me how to
I
mix a
know.
drink. I don't know how we'll do that,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we'll do it somehow.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'll just
And,
go to the restaurant's bar.
Yeah, the bar.
Yeah.
I'm a professional. I do this for a living.
Yeah.
Oh my
Guys,
gosh.
this has been so great. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yeah, tell us where all of our listeners can find you guys so that they're aware.
Yeah. So Instagram is at the happiest hour on earth, and then YouTube is the happiest hour on earth podcast. I think. I think YouTube's that.
If you
But
type
yeah,
that in, you'll
Spotify,
probably
Apple
find us.
Podcasts, all that good stuff. You guys use Anchor, so and we
Yeah.
do too. So yeah, it
Perfect.
goes everywhere.
Cool. And we'll link it all over the place.
Yeah.
It'll be all over on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll
and-
link everything for you guys so that you guys
Definitely.
can
Thank
find
you
them. But
guys.
again, go check them out. We love them. They're amazing. So thank you so much for
Love
being
you
on
guys.
our first
Our little
interview.
show. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're so honored. What an honor to get to be your first guest.
Yeah.
It was so fun.
All right.
All
Well, have a good
right.
one. Thanks so much.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you
guys. See ya.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we did it. Our first interview.
That was amazing.
It was a really good time. Chris and Emily were like the nicest people
hmm
we've talked to.
And I was so
Ever.
nervous.
I know.
But it was so much fun.
I know.
I
We
loved it.
I'm going to apologize on my behalf. In the beginning, I was not comfortable. But then as we talked more, I got a little more used to it.
No, I had a great time. There was so much like laughter and
Yeah.
we just kept going on. And it was great to learn about them and what the parks look like with them with having a little one and just diving in deep and
Yeah, I
talking
love what
to
they
friends,
said. I love what they said about having just going with realistic expectations.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
Which
it's
you
not going to
need
be the
that.
dream Disney. I'm sorry, Instagram, like, you know,
My kid's gonna be perfect at the park.
right? Yeah, it's just not going to happen. That's
No.
not realistic. So it's great to just hear like, oh yeah, and you make the best of it.
right.
That's
Which
fun.
is perfect.
So yeah, I know this was a longer episode than usual. Thank you for sticking around. We had a great time, so I hope you also have a great time listening at home. Caitlin, I think we're going to link everything about them and the episode details of this episode, and then you'll do something on Instagram, right?
Yes, I'll link all of that as well. And then as well as our Make-A-Wish fundraiser that we're going to be doing, that is going to be showing up on Instagram, on stories, on posts. So there'll be plenty of reminders on how you can help contribute if you can. And we're very excited about everything.
Super excited. Fun time at Market House.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for listening. You can find us over on Instagram at Market House Podcast and Twitter at Market House Pod. Again, for the time being, see if that lasts very long. You can just follow us along for all the fun details like we talked about in this episode, and then all of our goings on in the world, going to the parks, going on cruises, what have you. We post it all there. Please consider leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Super helpful for the show, just a free way of supporting us, as well as using our Undercover Tourist link, which you can find in the episode description, as well as posts and such. But anyways, you click on that. If you're going to buy tickets, it just helps the show. It doesn't cost you anything extra. Actually saves you a couple of bucks. Thanks so much. Join us next week for another show. It'll be a normal one, but we'll still have fun.
Have a good Thanksgiving, everybody.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Bye.